Hi there, Unplugged Family friends. This is Madlin Mangrum, your digital well-being coach. And today I have a wonderful treat. I have the creator of the new film ScreenAgers Next Chapter, Dr. Delaney Ruston. She's coming to talk to us about how to raise kids who are resilient in this digital age, kids who thrive, and we all want that. Our kids are experiencing an incredible amount of stress and anxiety, and so she's on a mission to educate the world and schools and parents and youth themselves on what we can do. So help me welcome her, and let me bring this down and bring her up. Hi, Dr. Ruston. Welcome to the family.
Thank you so much. Great to be here.
I am so excited because we are premiering your new film, ScreenAgers Next Chapter, this Sunday here in Dallas. So you guys will tell you how to get your tickets soon, and we'll put the links in the comments. Dr. Ruston created a film called ScreenAgers 3 years ago that went all over the world and really started a conversation worldwide on what our kids are experiencing in this digital age. So tell us about your adventure and what you've learned, and tell us about this new film.
Absolutely. You know, in making ScreenAgers, the original film, I really wanted, as a doctor and a mother, to understand the risk of screen time, but most importantly, solutions about how do we ensure that our kids are healthy in the amount of time and what they're doing online. And as I was doing that, I was meeting more and more teens who were really struggling emotionally. And eventually I learned that my daughter was really struggling emotionally. And so in Next Chapter, I decided I wanted to understand the science around adolescent emotional well-being and what we can do in our homes and in our schools to give them skills to really be resilient in the face of very common, difficult emotions in this digital age.
Yes. It's like we were not prepared for it, right? We have no grid to say, oh, when I was your age, this is when I got a phone, or this is what happened, right? And they're facing so many different things that some of them we really don't understand. Like you say, as parents, I think you and Lisa are on a mission to educate us, because there's really things that we don't understand about how our kids see the world. Correct?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I just feel like there are so many stories about stress, anxiety, and depression in our teens, but where are the stories about solutions? And that's really what I wanted to delve into. And what really surprised me in this journey is that there are so many skills that can help teens through what we do as parents and schools. I had no idea. And I had been, studying these things, and I didn't even know. So yes, I'm absolutely so excited to be out there and getting people to come together to talk about, okay, what are these skills? What can I do right now as a teen, as a parent, as a teacher? And what can we as communities do to really put this in place?
So tell us one of the skills. So give us a little tip of one of the skills you learned along the way.
Well, I have to say, as a parent, I was really bewildered by the fact that I would say to my kids answers, solutions to their problems, and this would really just make things worse. They'd get so frustrated at me. And in the film, I look at really interesting science about how it is that when we step in and try to fix something for them, our stress level measurably goes down and theirs goes up. And I was like, oh, okay, that's why that isn't effective. And instead, I really try to offer to them, if they want my help, great, I'm here. But I try to give them the control back. And I try to get them problem solving more, and for them to know, though, that I'm there, that I'm still there and available. And that's just one of many skills that are in the film.
I got to see a preview because we're bringing it to Dallas, right? And that was one that really got me, because I was like, oh yes, I definitely feel better when I say you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. When it's like that's there, yeah. And then bewildered, like you said, like why isn't this working?
You know what's so amazing to me is we've for some reason relegated things like emotional agility, communication skills as soft skills. They're actually the hardest. And my work in primary care, I know, reminded daily that changing behavior is the hardest thing we do as humans. So now when I go to not problem solve, I mess up at least half of the time, but at least it's not 70% of the time, right? And it's modeling that, and I'm transparent with them. I'm trying better to not just problem solve because it's not effective. I might be right, but is it effective?
Exactly. And our kids, I mean, they call us on it. I'm telling you, my kid was like, I'm telling him, okay, stop that. He's 16 now, but he was 11 or something. I said, okay, that's enough of that. And he's like, Mom, like he exploded. Mom, you're driving me crazy. You're telling me to stop when you have your phone in your hand and you're in front of the computer. And I'm like, I'm working. But it led to one of those heart-to-heart, eye-to-eye things. I said, you know what? You're right. I'm figuring this out myself.
Yeah.
So I think if we just let them know we're on the same boat and we realize that we can get us hooked on and, take time on this just as much as they can. I love it that your model of bringing ScreenAgers and now ScreenAgers Next Chapter is bringing families in community to watch this film. So you can't see it on Netflix, guys. Sorry. No, or you can't see it. You're going to a theater for the one in Dallas. But this is about bringing your family together and being in community with other families, watching the film. And if you come to Dallas, you get to see me and other coaches lead a panel discussion and Q&A and issue challenges and encouragement and resources to you so that you can keep it going, because it's not just information. Like this film is going to impact you, but as soon as you walk out, this is going to take over. Distractions will take over. Whatever you have to do for Monday is going to take over. But if you set up a challenge, intentions, and come together as a family and saying, there's things I need to change. Let's keep this going, right? And one of the things that Dr. Ruston has for you is something called Tech Talk Tuesdays. If you go to ScreenAgerMovie.com, which I'm going to put down the bottom, if you go to ScreenAgerMovie.com, you can go look at where there's a film showing. Again, it's premiering this Sunday, October 6th. So you can look for a screening of the film in your community. And if there isn't one, you can look for to host it. You can find information on how to host your own in your school or church or organization. The other thing is to keep this conversation going is so important. So tell us about Tech Talk Tuesdays.
Absolutely. I really believe that our tech revolution really warrants a communication revolution, because there are so many complicated things to be discussing with our kids. It is incredibly challenging around screen time balance and around their emotional turbulence of growing up. And to address that, because that's really my main goal with all this, is how do we work parents and kids? This is not a parent thing, let's be an army, just hope. No, this is an involvement.
Yes.
It is creating a weekly blog by which I kind of tell some story or I share science, and then I come up with concrete suggestions about a conversation topic to have. But, we have hundreds of thousands of people who've joined for weekly discussions in their home by using this as one tool. And I think that
so she gives you a really script, Mom and Dad.
Right. Exactly.
I'm sorry.
I mean, there are so many challenging conversations. How do you talk about pornography? How do you set limits when your kid says, no, everyone gets to have their cell phone in their bedroom at night when they're sleeping. And then you understand the science. Well, almost 40% report that they wake up and check their phone at night. And I know the science around sleep, and I know it's hard. Let's think of, some solutions. And I think, I didn't know how much I would address in Next Chapter around some of the issues, some more issues about parenting and screen time limits. But the one that really kept coming up to me in my journey with ScreenAgers is parents who feel like it's so emotionally hard to keep rules in place. I know that when my daughter is mad at me because I say, you know what, it's your phone, it's bedtime and it's not supposed to be there, and she rolls her eyes at me, emotionally, that's actually, it's interesting that it's hard.
Yes.
And I think that's emotional agility, that's recognition, and then being able to not let it drive me. So I don't just say, okay, you can have it, but I stay in my integrity. It's really hard for us as humans. And that's one of the bits of stories that come up in the next chapter.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm telling you, it's going to be so impactful. I know when my son saw ScreenAgers 3 years ago, he was 13. He came home and he said, okay, I'm getting off Fortnite. He said, it's too addictive. I was like, okay, that sounds good to me. Now, here's a kid, though. You know, the pediatrician said no screens for 2 years. I said, let's do 4. and then I didn't allow video games till he was 12. So he had, you know, a lot of bandwidth. And this is the kid that at 12 years old, in the car, I'm driving down the street, and all of the blue, he says, Mom, thanks for my imagination.
Oh,
and I was
like, powerful.
Wow. Yeah. Where did that come from? He goes, well, I get it. I see that my brain works differently than my friends.
I think that's great. And yesterday in clinic, I had teenagers, you know, coming to see me, and I always ask about screen time. And, you know, I always particularly ask about what are they doing off of screens, and really making sure, and then coming up with solutions if they really have a dearth. And that's been part of the movement, is to ensure that kids have other things to do. But exactly what you said, having limits around screen time to ensure that they're having face-to-face time with people is really hard. I think a lot of parents feel like the cat's out of the bag, there's nothing they can do.
Exactly.
And it's really about having a few basic rules that are really consistently followed, and then reevaluated and then changed. So for us, for example, we don't use cell phones while we're driving other than getting directions. And now and then someone might have to go on it, and you talk and say, oh, I got to check. So there's many different rules and families doing, but what I love, Madlin, what we've been talking about is how do you work with other parents? So parents are calling their friends and saying, let's do a device-free car. Or they're working in their schools with a campaign we started, Away for the Day, which is working particularly in middle schools to have phones put away for the entire day. We're seeing a lot of schools change in that regard. And high schools also are doing new things. That's Away for the Day. So it's how do we all work together? And Next Chapter is really about all sorts of skills that, again, we need to do this together to improve their emotional well-being and working with their parents as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know what? We need to, if you would come back another day and talk about Away for the Day, because I totally applaud you for that endeavor. It has made a difference in my community. There's schools, including where my husband is, that, you know, no phones during school hours. And so is making such a difference. And we're talking high school. So it's a huge difference, and we want to help, you know, spread the word there. Well, thank you so much for being here with us. I am
my pleasure
to bring our community in here in Dallas to see ScreenAgers Next Chapter premiering this Sunday. So if you want information and to get your tickets, go to ScreenAgersMovie.com. And also there you can sign up for Dr. Ruston's Tech Talk Tuesdays. Again, let me tell you, that's a script, mom and dad. Like, you don't have to think about the issue. She'll bring something very much relevant and in tune with what your kids are doing. And the questions are asked in a very non-judgmental, non-threatening way so that our kids can open up to us. Let's get kids, you know what, tonight go hug them, go love them. Let's speak to them the 5 love languages. Let's give them words of affirmation, physical touch. I mean, hold them. I tell them, hug your kid for 20 seconds, you know, even if they're resisting, count, right? So let's get kids connected in family. Let's them get to be known. Dr. Ruston, I had a professor give a lecture and was telling us that there's digital anthropologists sitting in homes, and that everyone is home, but there's complete silence for hours because everyone is in their own audio environment, right? And so we want to make that unacceptable. You know, let's be home, be a place where we're known, where we're loved, and where we're connect. So thank you.
You're welcome. And I just want to add, it's intentionality. We have to assume if teens come together over at a house and we're going to have a dinner, they would go onto a device, as opposed to I emailed to the families before and I say, we're really excited. It's going to be a screen time. You have to be prepared. And it really, everyone ends up being really happy.
Absolutely. I've done that with holidays. And yes, at first there's a war a little bit and then people get over it and it's fun.
Yeah.
So
it's mainly the pushback from your kids and teens, but as you grow up more and more with it, like they thank you for not having excessive screen time growing up, same thing. They actually really appreciate it.
They will thank you, Mama. Not for now, but they will thank you later. All right. Thank you, Dr.
And to everyone out there, you know, we have over 200 screenings and the film hasn't even come out around the nation. So I'm excited. I'll be in the Seattle one this Monday, and just a lot's going on. And my daughter, Tessa, is going to be at the Q&A with me. So it's really exciting.
Awesome. Oh, thank you so much for what you're doing.
Can't wait to keep Dallas. I wish to be there with you in Dallas.
Alrighty. Thank you so much. Bye. And again, comments, guys, in the comments, we'll put links to where you can get tickets.